What would you do if you saw someone dying of cardiac arrest right before your eyes? Hi, my name is Berardini, and today I'd like to talk to you about CPR. CPR is short for cardiopulmonary resuscitation and is a series of chest compressions and rescue breaths. Everyone should have a general knowledge of how to perform CPR just in case of an emergency where CPR is needed. I have personally been trained in CPR 6 times since I was 12 years old in order to become a lifeguard. Today in my speech I'd like to talk about 3 main things. First, what is CPR? Second, how to perform CPR. And third, how CPR has changed over the years. According to Medline Plus, a trusted medical website last edited in 2011 by Dr. Zaev and Dr. Heller, CPR is a series of 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths provided to a victim of cardiac arrest. According to the same website, CPR is necessary because it provides blood circulation to vital organs such as the brain and heart. In CPR, chest compressions circulate blood throughout the body, while rescue breaths provide oxygen to the lungs. In CPR, in your body, circulation is necessary because brain damage or even death can occur within minutes of blood flow stopping in your body. According to Dr. Eisenberg, a professor of medicine at the University of Washington, CPR doubles a person's chances of survival from cardiac arrest. Once started, Medline Plus states, CPR should be continued until emergency personnel arrive or a person regains consciousness. Unfortunately, when most medical personnel arrive at the scene of a cardiac arrest, no one has been performing CPR. Now that you know what CPR is, it's time to learn how to perform CPR in the event of an emergency. According to Medline Plus, once a person is recognized as needing CPR, the most effective way to perform CPR is to give 30 chest compressions followed by 2 rescue breaths. Medline Plus gives the following guidelines on how to perform CPR. A victim of cardiac arrest can be recognized if they have no pulse and are not breathing. The first thing you should do when you approach the scene of a cardiac arrest is you should survey the scene to make sure that it is safe for you to approach. If it is, you should approach the victim, tap them, and shout at them to make sure they aren't just sleeping. Hey, are you okay? After you do this and there's no response, you should immediately call 911 and check for signs of life, which include a pulse and breathing for no more than 10 seconds. If no signs of life are present, you should prepare to perform CPR immediately. The first thing you will do is place one hand over the other on top of the victim's chest and give 30 hard chest compressions, which will compress the chest 2 inches each time. Next, you will tilt the victim's head back, pinch their nose, open their mouth, and close your mouth firmly over theirs and give 2 1-second rescue breaths. After this, you will continue to give circulations of CPR until emergency medical personnel arrive or the person regains consciousness. Congratulations! You've just learned how to perform CPR in an emergency, and you may actually save a life one day. Now I bet you're wondering, has the process of performing CPR ever changed? The American Heart Association, a medical website about heart problems in the United States, last updated in 2012, talks about a new version of CPR that has just been released in 2012. This version is called hands-only CPR, and it can be performed by anyone, whether or not they've been properly trained in CPR or not. In hands-only CPR, bystanders will perform only chest compressions at about the rate of 100 compressions per minute. Hands-only CPR is thought to be more effective and user-friendly because typically Americans are too afraid to perform CPR or don't know how to perform CPR at all. Hands-only CPR is meant to encourage bystanders to perform CPR because it is simpler and does not involve mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Sadly, American Heart Association reports that 89% of people who suffer from heart failure die because they did not receive immediate CPR from someone on the scene. While hands-only CPR is easier to learn and remember, the American Heart Association still recommends that you give 30 chest compressions followed by 2 rescue breaths in order to perform the most effective kind of CPR. Whichever method of CPR is performed, the American Heart Association estimates that between 100 to 200,000 lives of adults and children could be saved each year if CPR were performed early enough. In summary, CPR is a life-saving process that involves that seeks to restore circulation to the vital organs such as the brain and heart. It is a process that can be performed by doing 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths, and is a process that is always changing. Remember, the ability to perform CPR in an emergency is the difference between life and death for a person suffering from cardiac arrest. So now, if you are ever present in the event of an emergency where CPR is needed, you are now armed with the knowledge of how to save a life. Thank you.